Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and say thank you to those that are returning for this week's energy update. Before we get started on discussing the astrological configurations, I do want to take a moment and hold space, healing compassionate energy to the people of Syria and Turkey. They are certainly in the midst of very tragic humanitarian crisis as a result of several earthquakes in that region. So please take a moment today, join me as a collective as we bring some healing and compassionate energy to those in that region. Thank you so much for helping me out today in that regard. Now, on Tuesday of this week, we have Valentine's Day, so I'd like to take a moment and say Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Then on Wednesday, we've got very supportive astrological energy as Venus and Neptune come together in the sign of Pisces. And as you know, Venus is exalted in Pisces, making that energy much more prominent. This energy is very dreamy. It is very compassionate and magical, that's for sure. Beautiful, easy. It is fantasy-like energy, and I know this energy well because my natal Venus and Neptune are conjunct. However, in the fellow sign of Scorpio, not Pisces. I have been called a dreamer more than once, so join me in the lofty, dreamy, wonderful energy that will be around us on the 15th. And that energy will be with us for a little bit. They conjunct, yes, but that energy will be with us for a couple of days. Enjoy it. It can be, like I said, pretty lofty. So if you find yourself needing some grounding, just wait a day. And on Thursday, the 16th, we have the Sun is going to conjunct Saturn in the sign of Aquarius at 27 degrees. And this is very grounded energy. It's a reality check day. It happens every year. It's an annual meeting of these two planets. However, to me, this year is a little bit different. It's asking us to take responsibility or accountability for lessons learned of awareness and consciousness during the Saturn and Aquarius cycle. So Saturn spent 3 years in the sign of Aquarius. Roughly, Saturn's orbit of all the zodiac signs is around 30 years, 28, 30 years, also known as your Saturn return. Now, unfortunately, I can also speak about this energy because my natal Saturn is in Aquarius. So I'm coming out of my Saturn return. But why I think this particular year's conjunction between the Sun and Saturn is we are going to be asked to reflect on this transit cycle. So as a matter and a means of trying to make this as simplified as I can, I've redone this video because I got way too expansive in this, but back on the 12th of January, 2020, which seems like eons ago, truly just 3 years ago, Saturn and Pluto conjunct in the sign of Capricorn. Pluto was sending off Saturn out of the sign of Capricorn and into the sign of Aquarius. Saturn then entered the sign of Aquarius on the 21st of March, 2020, and within days we were on lockdown. From a global perspective, our entire globe was on lockdown due to the coronavirus. Now, Saturn is the sign of restriction, and as we know, Aquarius is the sign of the collective. So the fact that the collective was locked down really forced that Aquarian energy to be confined. Okay? So as a natural progression, we all know what 2020 was like. In 2021, then Saturn began this dance with Uranus. There was a square between Saturn and Uranus that spoke about traditional versus revolutionary, freedom versus lockdown or restriction, old versus new, and that theme they were conjunct 3 times over that year, in February, in June, and then in December of 2021. Huge lessons there. A lot of instability, but again, for purpose. Then And that in itself, Saturn and Uranus in itself is a 45-year cycle. So the last time that cycle, the Saturn-Uranus cycle was prominent was back in 1988, and that was the fall of the Soviet Union and the Berlin Wall. So these are massive, massive changes, and that's where we're at right now. So now that, with Saturn doing its dance with Uranus, which it's now come away from, we've learned to understand freedom differently, understand rebellion differently, instability differently, restrictions and what that means to us. So now we can use that energy of the Sun conjunct Saturn to reflect upon the lessons of the last 3 years, how we're looking at things differently. And because we've also been through the Saturn-Uranus square, how the Uranian powers of instability can lead to revolutionary change. And that is continuing. Uranus is very strong now, as we've noted. We've already discussed the Turkey and Syria humanitarian crises as a result of several earthquakes in that area, and the after effects are continuing, or the after shocks are continuing. So anyway, we've been through a lot in the last 3 years. I think Sun conjunct Saturn is going to ask us to reflect upon that, take some time, get grounded after we've had a very lofty Venus and Neptune conjunction in Pisces, to take time and really reflect on where we've been, the lessons that we've learned, and apply them should those principles come back up and around that day. Restriction, rebellion, those type themes come up. We do now know how to apply that energy and deal with anything that happens to come our way with those themes. Then on Friday, which is the 17th, we've got Mercury, which is in Aquarius, sextile Jupiter and Aries. I love this energy. It is expanded awareness and higher thinking and communications, because it's Mercury. It could be speaking about very global or universal topics, great for brainstorming. So think of it this way. I really like this concept, and I'm excited to see what this means. So if Saturn going into the sign of Aquarius was able to really clamp down on communities and restrict them, now that Saturn will be moving into Pisces, I believe it's on the 7th of March, just around the corner, what happens with the collective communities now that those restrictions have been released? You can use that energy on Friday, because Mercury is in Aquarius, and it's going to sextile Jupiter in Aries, that expansive energy. Use it to have a brainstorming session with your community on how you want your community to evolve now and expand now with this new energy. We are going to be, I think, noticing some community efforts really take hold, whether that's community gardening or just like-minded peoples getting together for the purpose of expansion. I really think that this is going to be a prominent theme as the freedoms come back to our collective once Saturn moves into Pisces on the 7th of March. Anyway, then on Saturday the 18th, happy birthday to Pisces. The Sun does move into Pisces. Pisces energy is very creative. It's very artistic, very compassionate, very spiritual. A lot of healing modalities, a lot of healing energy. But the three-dimensional understanding of this could be martyrdom, overwhelm, the practicing of escapism through addictions. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, step up that energy, get back into that fifth dimensional or higher energy. Get outside, get into nature, write a song, write a book, write a poem, create, manifest, because those are things that this energy will be good for and very supportive for. Then shortly thereafter, we are going to have a new supermoon, and this will be expanded on in my next video, in Pisces. And that's the Tuesday following. So we're well a week out, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because at the time of this super new moon in Pisces, on the 20th, we are going to have 3 planets at anaretic degree of their signs. And one of those planets we spoke about, which is Saturn. Another one is Pluto. That has a 248-year cycle. So it's very possible you don't know what that energy is going to look like when Pluto moves from Capricorn into Aquarius. So with those 3 planets at anaretic degree, we also have the sun and moon, star and another planet at 1 degree. And this will be our 4th super new moon at 1 degree. New beginnings are all over the place. And again, this is a super new moon in Pisces that is ruled by Neptune. That the water events should be prominent. We may begin to see some of that at the end of this week as well. So that's what I have for you this week. We've got, massive, expansive Aquarian-themed downloads coming. As soon as Mercury went into Aquarius, the download started. I can tell you I need to carry paper and pen with me because I've had some massive downloads on these major expansive themes and how they can be applied to the energy coming up for us for the next 30 to 45 to 60 days. So I'm keeping notes, and we'll talk more about that on the next video when we speak about the new moon in Pisces. I think that's going to usher in the beginning of some of these changes. If you find that you're overwhelmed with the sun going into Pisces, just, find some stillness, get outside. Remember to create from the inside out. Instant manifestation is here. We have the ability to control how we manage energy. My goal in all of this, predictive patterning and astrological components, is to help you understand how to feel the energy, how to understand the energy, how to interpret that energy so that you can use it to your advantage. And believe that the universe does know what it's doing, and trust that the outcome will supersede anything that you could fathom in trying to control it on your own. Okay? So the card this week did not just jump out. It took a little bit. We've got the Journey Tarot deck from Cassie Yule. And the card it took a while for it to come out. It did not jump right out. And I was kind of surprised when it came out, but it is not the traditional Rider-Waite Devil card. The Devil is the one that jumped out, which talks about addictions, which is a Piscean theme, actually. This Devil card actually shows this lovely young lady, and in the shadow, there's a shadow side, and it looks like she's got cat ears. So there's 2 sides to her, definitely a shadow side right there, which is reflecting back to her. Let's see what the book says. The Devil. Don't fear your power. The devil calls you to dive into the depths of your shadow self and liberate yourself. You'll find more power and freedom in your life when you fully integrate all parts of yourself, even the scary ones. The Devil. I truly think that this talks about the immersion into making sure that your conscious includes the shadow side as well as the side that you want to show to the world. I do believe that Pluto, being the planet that really controls power and also shines the light on where power has been misused or misappropriated, that's also what this card speaks of, and Pluto is getting ready to change signs near the end of March. So that's all I have for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you do like this video, please click the like button. If you know somebody who could be helped by this video, help me share the word, spread it. Help me spread the word by sharing this video. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please post them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you ASAP. I hope that you have a fabulous Valentine's Day, a wonderful Venus-Neptune conjunction. I'll be sure to share with you if I have anything fun and exciting based on that being my return to those 2 planets conjunction in my natal chart. And then reflect on that Aquarian energy and have some really fun, lofty conversations with friends on Friday. But it will be a fantastic week. Enjoy it, please. Namaste.